lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend, because I'm a jerk. So, Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? You know, any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You know, you can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped-up charges. Yeah. Trumped-up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July as a redhead. You know? I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You ever burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh, yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches. Giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was that shot where he was playing hoop.
Yeah, it went viral, I think. He was playing basketball and he took a shot and went in.
He was playing with his black friend that he's paying to lose. Now you can't hear. You're blinded by the muzzle flash. This guy's coming around your bed with a sickle, and you're shooting the wrong way.
Sickle? He's got a sickle? Is he harvesting wheat? What's he doing? What's he doing in your house?
You vote for that guy that says, like, there's a meteor headed right towards the planet. That's the guy you vote for. You go with the psycho, because there's no way there's any corporate money behind that guy, right? Like, that guy is going to come on TV. He's going to come on TV, like, reading files from the Pentagon. Like, you know what else they're doing? Like, just freaking people out. And as unsettling as that is, at least you can believe in it. You can trust it. You know, even when you finally get a break, somebody comes over to your house, like the greatest oboe player, and you got to come downstairs and act like you care. You got to get all dressed up and sit there. Yeah, great. Oh, that's amazing. And then the second you make any sort of grimace, they put it in the paper. President Burr was not enjoying the oboe player. He doesn't like children. What is that going to do? Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have, like, midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she didn't have the power to say no, so she wrote it out. And then when she could make a good decision, she did a show. But she stood on the heads of those little people for 5 years until she got... And then she's sitting there across from this guy like, so how could you...
So you're saying that because you're happy that you think your wife and women in general want to take...
They're jealous of it. They're jealous how simple the male brain is, that you can just sit there and be entertained and find true happiness. And it just bugs them, so they got to ruin it. And they're slowly taking over the NFL. You know, all next month, once again, they're going to dress everybody in the NFL like newborn baby girls. For whatever reason.
What do you...
Like I was watching the World Series, and I'm in the middle of watching the World Series, and out of nowhere, they have this moment, stand up to cancer. I'm watching a ball game, and all of a sudden, everybody stands up, holding up a sign of somebody that they either know that's dying of cancer or died of it in the middle of the game. It's just like, what are you doing? Trying to watch a game here. You know, no, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody. All I know is the other one used to go to those Bilderberg meetings, you know, where they'll dress up like yaks and have those eyes wide shut parties. So I didn't know what she was going to do.
Wait, Hillary Clinton?
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
That meeting they have underneath the mountain.
What are you talking?
No, I'm just saying that I was on, you know, the internet, and I was reading that a lot of the money goes into their pockets. So I was like, all right, I want to agree with that and say that that's true, and then repeat it on a talk show.
You have the anger of a 110-year-old man. All these telephones.
I work my ass off. I make a great living. I like doing the dishes. I'm a great dad. All she has on me is just, I don't know, like my overall vibe. That's it.
Wait, all she has on you
is my
it's
vibe.
Your overall personality and vibe.
Yeah, but what kills me, I was this guy
the
when
essence of who you are is the only thing.
Yeah, but I was this guy when she met me.
You know what I mean? Like when you saw the Jeffrey Dahmer movie, it wasn't like, somebody shoved a tuna fish sandwich up my ass, and I confused people with food, so they didn't make like a big excuse for him. You know? She was a psycho killing people, and she should have died. But I'm like watching it feeling guilt. Do they ever take responsibility for their actions? Even when they're murdering people, it's somehow our fault. It's unreal. No, like the roles were defined back then. Now the guy has to throw the milk, he has to clean it up while telling his wife she's brave for just sitting there. Like whatever that is. Can you hear it? Oh, I know. Women are so overrated, right? We went from...
Wait, what? We went...
Like, what they would have to do... I was talking to my buddy the other day, like, what they would have to do to get me to stop watching. You know,
Because
like...
you love football. You watch football.
The commissioner could literally punt a baby across his office with his wingtips on. I'm still going to watch on Sunday. I don't condone the man's actions, but it's football.
I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know? More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Oh, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And he goes, hey, you know, I'm actually thinking it's kind of wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up the phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, how she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See what they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is? So I got a dog recently. That's a big thing in my life. I went down to the pound and I got a free dog. That's how I say it. I don't say I rescued a dog. All right, it's obnoxious and it's not true. Sick of people doing that. She's a rescue. Yeah, I rescued her. Really? Did you pull her out of a burning building? My girlfriend actually, to be honest with you, got the dog while I was traveling. I was in a different state. My girlfriend got us a dog. Classic female move, you know? That's just a 10 to 15 year commitment. Why would you include me in that decision?
You got to. There should be a high top bar here, like potato skins. This is very Applebee's going out of business. Yeah, you have like that. I don't know if it's me, but you're so happy. Sometimes it bothers me. Like I get actually anxiety around people as happy as you. It's like I can't hit the ball back, dude. I can't sustain you coming to the net with your happiness. I'm just like, this is over. It's gonna smash it right at me.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Can these people see us as they walk by?
I think it's tinted, but yeah, they can kind of.
That'd be weird, huh? It's like on the Good Day show, you know.
Crouch a little so they can't see us.
Yeah, those sad people who show up to the Good Day show at like 5 in the morning, just stand there.
Signs.
Yeah, hoping Ethel sees them.
Like from Kansas all the time. Yeah. Bill, thanks so much for being here. I love this show. You're one of my favorite comedians. I'm excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. These chairs are horrific. This is designed for like, I don't know what age. It's not like 6 to 8, like when you're 11. This is like the perfect size. It's not quite adult size. It's not kid size. I already slouch. It's going to be a bad interview, dude, and I'm blaming the chair.
I slouch or go down like this or
all right.
Cross the legs. Bill, are you the head writer on the show, or how do you work in the writers' room on the show? Because you write your stand-up specials, you know, obviously you're a writer, but you've never really written on a sitcom before. If you go through your credits, you hadn't really been on a show before.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Just right out of the gate, he goes negative. Never really saw you write on anything before, Bill. There was all these other nice things on your IMDb page I could have brought up, but I noticed this one glaring thing that you've never done. And right out of the gate, was it because I made fun of the chairs? I'm sorry. No, I'm not the head writer. Mike Price, the great Mike Price. I have to say that he beats me in the writer's room. The great Mike Price from The Simpsons. He's the head guy, and I'm one of 10 in there, pitching jokes and that type of stuff. So, yeah, that's what I do in there.
Were you nervous
I'll be
getting...
sure to have that on my IMDb page for the next time.
No, I love the show, and I was wondering if you were nervous getting in there with a group of writers, since you've been sort of the lone writer of all of your work for so long.
Oh, no, by no means did I want to do this by myself. I mean, you need all of that help. Like, I had an idea to do something like this on my website, just do little 5-minute vignettes, because I used to tell family stories when I first started out doing stand-up, and everybody laughed when I was the young comic. And then as I became the older comic, you know, and the helicopter kids came in, and everything was labeled, and people wore helmets when they rode bicycles, and everything was considered bullying, those same stories didn't get laughs anymore. Everybody was sort of groaning like, oh, you know. I'd be like, no, this was funny. I deserve to get beaten for that. So that's when I decided, well, if I animate these things, and I'm a comedian, so I never did it because I have other jobs that I can do to make money. So it wasn't until I got with Mike Price, he turned it into a show. Vince Vaughn's company, too. And
what was your initial, I mean, so was this the idea that you initially had going into it, that it would look like this?
No, I had no idea what it was going to look like. This was like, I actually decided to do a cartoon because you can get away with more. And also, I did like those one-camera shoots, and those people work like 12, 14-hour days. There's hair, makeup, and wardrobe. So I thought I was being smart doing an animated show, thinking, oh, this will be easy. You know, they just do a little Flintstone shit, you know? I'll come in and say a couple of goofy things to a mic, and I'll go back out, you know, go see a movie or something. And it's not quite how it works. So this alone, just trying to come up with the look of it, which you wouldn't think, it took us like, we spent like, I felt like 6 weeks on noses and eyes, because you have to have everybody look. It's a weird thing, like animation.
Well, it sets up the world.
Yeah, but you have to come up with like your race of like animated people, you know? So like the Simpsons have the mustard yellow people with the giant eyes. The Simpsons have like the Pac-Man heads. So you got to kind of come up with your own thing that hasn't been done before. So I hope we did. We try to have like we wanted the 70s look the way most of my friends remember it. I mean, the way Hollywood does the 70s is everybody looked like Ron Burgundy or the Bee Gees or something. And that was, you know, that was a group of people. And everybody drove a Pacer, which they didn't. I remember when that car came out, me and my wife was like, me and my mother, what the hell's wrong with me? So that was the ugliest piece of shit I've ever seen. Sorry, I went out to a diner till like 4 in the morning last night. I got into an argument over music. This kid was trying to tell me that the Foo Fighters were better than the Beatles, and I just couldn't handle that.
Wait, what? Let's stick to this for a second, if you don't mind. Who the hell was arguing with you that the Foo Fighters are better than the Beatles?
He said he didn't like the Beatles because they didn't. When I listened to their music, he goes, it doesn't make me want to get on an elliptical. Like, this is how this guy judges music. Like, it makes him want to work out. So, like, with that analogy, it's just like, hey, I don't like Mozart because it doesn't make me want to grab ankle weights. You know, and like an idiot, I actually argued with this person. Like, they're that far down the boulevard. Like, I was going to bring them somewhere to where I was. And my eggs were getting cold, and I stayed in it. It was such a waste of time. It's just one of those days you wake up at like noon hating yourself. Like, I'm decades beyond having these things happen to me, and I still do it.
How did you argue with that? If it started there, how did you argue about it?
Upsetting other people. I vaguely remember saying to some guy there, like, because he was giving me shit for how loud I was being, I finally said to the guy, dude, who the fuck orders spaghetti at a diner? And I didn't hear another word out of him, so I was proud of that.
The one person who's excited for the huge menu orders spaghetti? You know?
Yeah, at some point I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food and everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah. All right. And when Bruce became Caitlyn, that was like a national news story. Dude, you shave your beard off. People were like, oh my God, that's your chin? Wow. This guy walked out a dude, came back a woman. You're just supposed to be like, oh yes, anyways, Caitlyn, that's all I was saying. I miss that guy. I miss him already. He should have told us. He should have given us a chance to say goodbye. I watched him on the Olympics. I watched him on Chips.
I watched him on that horrible show my wife watched where he just walks around in the background.
There are women that waited 22 days at Best Buy. They waited 22 days.
And what did they get? What do you think they got?
I don't know.
They got trampled.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're gonna go there,
yeah,
you don't get trampled grabbing your wig, you know, suspenders flying off. It's so sad. To do what? Get an above-ground pool for $30 off? I don't like how they interview the coaches, too, when they go to the in halftime.
Yeah.
As they're running off. They shouldn't have to talk to somebody in, like, a ski parker. You're not even in football.
Yeah.
Did you even play to the high school level?
No, probably not.
You took journalism.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What about...
Yeah, it's a bunch of nerds interrupting people who know what they're doing. Get out of here. Get your seat, and you'd sit there, and they're about ready to close the door, and you'd have that empty seat next to you, like the poor man's first class. You're like, oh, shit, I'll bring the armrest up. I can actually be great. And then all of a sudden, some fat bastard gets on the front, and you're like, no. You're like Quint at the end of Jaws, like sliding down the floor.
Worried about this environmental stuff. You really are worried about it.
I am and I'm not. I just also feel like, you know, it'd probably be a good thing if most of us died. You know what I mean? It would be. We had all these waffles, eggs, bacon, this whole layout. My brother was looking at half-eaten cube steaks. So he looked at my mom. He goes, Mom, can I have a waffle? She goes, no, that is your breakfast. And he goes, oh, Mom, I hate you. And my dad, without looking up, took a full glass of milk and threw it in his face. This is what kills me. What kills you? You know how I would do it?
What?
I would randomly sink cruise ships.
Yeah. What? Why would you randomly sink cruise ships?
Because you get like 2,500 to 3,000 people a whack, right? And I think it's a good mix of people to get rid of. To be honest with you. They're not interested.
What happened?
Let's keep the comedy rolling all the way from the United States of America, Mr. Bill Burr.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Thanks a lot. How's it going? Great. It's nice to be here. I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is gonna be great. No, I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm just not compatible with them. No, they got too much energy for me. You notice that's it? They always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no. But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $52 for eggs? Now you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, you know, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. I was dating this girl recently. She was like really into like women's issues, you know? Because women always go on TV, you know, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't.
All they want is the good shit of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff like same amount an hour. We'll take some of that. Pay for the movie. Fuck that. You can keep that one. I don't like that one. This is nice. That's yucky. That's icky. Hey, come on, people. You can't choose. This girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. That's why I get the $1 more an hour. Oh, it's a $1 an hour surcharge. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out. Like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? You think I want to stay in the vault? Those 20 other sweaty guys sharing a bag of peanuts, you know? Praying to God I'm not the hostage who gets dragged out by the psycho with a gun to my head as he's asking the cops for a helicopter, which I know he's not going to get, right? I know he's not getting the helicopter. So now I got to make idle conversation with the 38 to my head going, dude, go for rent-a-car. I think you should go for the rent-a-car. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Ooh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. No, that's why I hated that movie, the Titanic. Every girl I meet thinks that movie's romantic. It's irritating. I think, that was really romantic, don't you think? It's like, no! It's a fucking horror film. And they're always like, why? I'm like, because all the guys die. See, you're watching it trying to relate, going, who would I be? You'd be that chick floating away in the big piece of luggage, right? I'm watching it going, who would I be? I'd be that dude when, like, the boat breaks in half, that dude who, like, falls straight down and bangs off the shit and goes in the water. That's who I'd be. I'd be wearing a tuxedo, not because I wanted to, but you wanted to dress up that night, right? I'd be falling the whole way down going, I should have fucked that chick in first class. All right, listen, I'm out of time. You guys are a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
We're very funny, Bill Burr.
Wait a minute, do you own Fab TV?
Yes, how do you know that?
Because you're so friggin' dressed down. You just had that vibe. Look at it. This is how CEOs. I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not.
And by the way,
like
I had to take my host out.
The cameramen are dressed better than you are. I knew it. I was just like, this guy's not a reporter. Didn't even know the name of the show. Didn't even know the name of the show. Wow.
Well, you know what? Take it as a call. I wanted an interview. I'm like, no, I got to be in with Bill Burr. You're one of my idols.
So were you supposed to interview me?
Okay, here.
Unbelievable. What is that? Oh, there you go. Now it looks like an interview.
You know, Mr. Burr, how does it feel?
Okay, these are the first 3 movies I saw. I saw For the Love of Benji. Yeah. And then we saw Scarface. She didn't know what it was. She knew it was like a gangster movie, but she thought it was like, like Kojak or something. And if she wanted to leave then, I would have, but she didn't. She just is very reserved. She's just kind of like, maybe this will get better. Like she just... Hey, how are you? What's going on? Nice to be here. I thought this was over by 7. I'm a stand-up comedian. I tell shit jokes around the country. It's what I do. And I got to be honest, I don't know much about writers. I used to think you guys were a bunch of nerds who couldn't hold up your end of the conversation, with strange shoes. I did. Never was going to be yet another pilot that was going to fail. I'd just be sitting in a coffee house trying to talk to these writer and it just would never connect, So I always end up just staring at their shoes. But I don't know. I've always been like an idiot. And no, I did. I used to think like a pony was a little horse. And there was these people down the street had this pony for like 7 years. And one day I said to my mother, I was like, when's that pony going to become a horse? So... I don't know. I didn't understand what you guys did. like being in a writer's room. I never really understood like what a fucking hell it is. And the last 2 years of my life, I've spent it in there. And like, I've just never contemplated suicide more times in my life, you know? Every time you get that note, like, you know, I don't think we earned this moment. This isn't in our palette. Like, well, who do I root for? I just always just think, you know, there's always that sweet option. We're on like the 8th floor. I just think it. I think I could hit my car, you know? Maybe land right in the driver's seat and be poetic. I do. Just sitting in a writer's room all day. I come home, I just stare at the wall. I can't hear my wife's voice. My drinking is off the rails. And I just want to say to all you guys, I really respect now what the hell it is you guys do, because it is, without a doubt, the toughest job out here. So thank you for writing shit for me to say. No, when I'm on the road, I talk about getting a 22. Everybody makes fun of me. But if you're in a house, that's what you want. Little 22. You don't have like a 44 Magnum. It's like you're going to shoot through the guy, through the wall, blow your dog's brains out, and like drop the engine out of your car. She's selling muffins, and she's got this big stupid, look at the muffins I made, look on her face. And the second I saw that part of my brain was just like, dude, what would happen if you just walked up and just said, hey, lady, these your muffins? Oh, yeah? And I just started going, blam, 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 blam. So I just started thinking of the horrified look on this lady's face as I started slamming these muffins. And out of nowhere, I just started laughing like a maniac. Try to begin the process of working on myself. Do this because I don't want to have a job. I just like being able to fuck. Like, you know what I love about this interview right now? There's zero preparation. I don't have to do shit. I was watching the fucking Jets-Miami game last night. I had a couple of beers, hanging out with my dog. I had a great fucking time. There was no like, oh, I got this big meeting tomorrow. I got to hit my PowerPoints, graph how comedy exists. There's none of that. I just show up. I might have been the worst comic in the history. Like, first of all, I would get on stage. I was so nervous. I'd take the mic out of the mic stand, and I would immediately just start pacing.
Like a panther.
And it had like a nervous panther who got declawed and defanged. Yeah. And I was just walking back and forth, and my movement had nothing to do with what I was talking about. I can't even believe I got any laughs. I would just be like, yeah, so I was growing up, and my dad was crazy, and it was just like, it was like that thing, you know, the old carnival game where you try to shoot the duck. Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know, a lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know? I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla. Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right?
That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades.
By September, I didn't know what anybody was talking about. They were all talking about the Force and Chewbacca. I had perspective, like I saw it when I was like 27. I was just like, it's all right. Why does it matter? Why is it this important? Look, you can tell how much money that movie's going to make. Everybody's just staring at me. Shooting daggers. To make your team win again. You remember he did that 10 years ago when they couldn't beat the Patriots?
No.
He sent a whole tape, said our cornerbacks were roughing up the receivers.
Bill, what I remember...
Please, let me get this point out. The league said...
Even Ron Howard doesn't feel good
Yeah,
about
no.
that.
Well, that's the great thing about comedies. Whatever's wrong with you becomes your go-to. Is my head big or what? You know what I mean? You know? Then you cry backstage. I knew they always thought that. I'm becoming a psycho. I've realized that about myself. I am. I watch conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 a.m. on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama is going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win. Because they're in the process of bankrupting this country, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's what, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watched the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die. And I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head? You know,
Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, God damn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy an apology, you know? God, I'd love to see his iPod. I can't imagine the eclectic mix of music. There's so much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, I actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. I'm sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know? Then I started thinking it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work, it comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling from another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over when it's sleeping, but if you fuck it, you're going to jail. All right, I'm thinking about getting a dog, everybody. I am. No, I'm at the point. Nothing alive is dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate on the off chance that maybe they didn't commit the crime, you know, just roll the dice? Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some like 1995, half a Labrador. It's got part of its ear chewed off, you know? Every time I go to use the toaster, it starts freaking out. You know, because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear. Then I got to tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I get one of those crazy dogs, get up at like 3 in the morning to take a leak. Right, I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up, like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? It's time to man up, man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the ground bleeding. What are they going to do with the dog? They're going to take him right back down to the prison like some repeat offender, have like shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, you know? Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I got to work on my temper, though. Something I really got to do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, you know? I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the urge to elbow an old lady in the face. It was like compelling. It was unbelievable. You know, when you go to get off a plane, there's like rules when you go to get off the plane, all right? It goes row by row by row. And this lady was all like, ooh, I'm 90. I get to cut everybody, right? So I'm competitive. I start fucking boxing her out, right? Start bringing down like the overhead luggage, you know? So she just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you're going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide open shot. Just real light. Poof, you don't got to hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man. We can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. I thought I had my body under control, and she got like to right about there, and then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. Just throwing that out.
You started saying really sentimental shit to me and then pretending like you were crying, and then that just became like the running joke.
But dude, you know what? Hanging with you on the road has been great. You're the only one I could have done it with. And then Bill would come and tag it. That's the best thing. Bill would come and tag it. And
I would just be like, I was hoping you were going to say that. But dude, it's been fucking wonderful for my anger. I'm gonna try to do that when I get home.
You had the best one. I got to say the best one was at the airport yesterday. We go to the airport yesterday, and Bill starts busting my balls about my laundry. And he goes, Verzi, fucking 16 days and you're carrying, dirty socks and underwear? I go, I bought new ones. The dirty ones are tied up tight in a plastic bag. And Bill just goes, just like your emotions. And dude, I fucking could not walk. I couldn't walk, and I had to stop pulling my fucking, the bag I checked.
All my breath in, then I let like 15, 20% out.
Dude, you look like you just got shot and you're waiting for the ambulance when you're doing it.
Like you just, parents are the worst because all they did was just bring anxiety. Oh, you having a kid? Oh, no more doing this, no more doing that. Just making it seem like it was going to be this miserable experience. I'm only 10 days in, but it's been a good thing.
I have a friend of mine who doesn't like corn. He says he won't eat it. And little does he realize that 90% of food is all corn-based. Because these cunts have taken over the food supply, and that's the real terrorism that we need to fight. We're going to Tacoma, Washington.
Canada,
Yeah, all right. See that? All I want to get is a 22. That's it. 22 caliber, protect the house. No big deal. That's it. Exactly. Really, sir? I love that. Come on. No, you think I wasn't setting them up? How many times did I say 22 caliber? I said the first time I heard the groans. You just keep sending that fishing line out there. There's always one guy who takes the fucking bait. 22 caliber. Fucking pussy. What are you gonna do? You little queer gun? You got a holster between your buttocks with that gun? Is that there? Sir, let's just say, for the hell of it, I had a loaded 22 in my hand and I started shooting at you. What would you do? Other than run screaming out of the building, sticking babies in front of you like Martin Sheen in The Dead Zone, right? You're gonna say, it's just a 22, relax, I'm loaded, 22, bounce right off me. It's a fucking gun. All right? It's not the biggest gun, but that's all you fucking need. You're in a house. You're in a fucking high-rise with your glass balcony. That's all you fucking need. Get the fuck out of here. That's all you need. It's a great fucking gun. It's perfect. Perfect. Fucking gun. All these morons telling you to get these giant guns in your fucking house. They're idiots. They're fucking morons who are like me, overheard some shit. Right? Get a shotgun. Except when you go, that's it. The guy just goes, oh, fuck that. How many times you heard that one? Yeah. Nobody thinks about what they're doing. You know what I love about a 22? You can shoot it without earplugs. Your ears ring, but you can still hear shit. All those other guns, you're fucked. You're fucked. The second you pull the trigger, you can't hear shit. I know that for a fact. One time I was landscaping this guy's house, right? And at the end of it, he comes out. He goes, I got this 5-shot 38. I never shot it. You guys want to go down the street? There's a burned out car down there. It's been there for like 4 months. Nobody seems to give a shit because it's the 80s. We want to get out there, take a couple shots at it. We're like, yeah, absolutely. Let's leave all the landscaping equipment out too, so the kids can play with it. And we go down, take a shot at this thing. 38 caliber. So I never shot a gun in my life. I fucking put it up. I'm aiming at this car. I pull the trigger. I saw the muzzle flash. I never heard the gun. Pulled the trigger and immediately, muzzle flash, and immediately all I heard was just, pulled the trigger 4 more times, 4 more flashes. It never got louder, never got quiet. It was just in my head. That's the fucking gun you're gonna have in your house? Late at night? Because that's when the psycho's coming. They don't come at 6:30 when you're sitting there digging into a cube steak. Hey, I'm out of my mind, coming back in 20 minutes, so stretch out your hammies because it's gonna get crazy. Right? That's not how it goes down. They wait till you're vulnerable, middle of the night. You're fucking sleeping, right? Let's just say, okay, for argument's sake, you got that loaded 38 right there on the nightstand, ready to go. Not gun here, bullets over there, fucking, no, right there. Ready to go. It's like 3:30 in the morning. And you're out. You just... Meanwhile, some psycho's coming into your living room window. It just gives a listen. Here's all we don't know. We just just one leg into the sheet, other on top. It's fucking coming for you. You are out. All of a sudden, that little bag on the floor is just like. No, what's wrong? What's wrong? What are you want for? What are you want for? What's wrong? What's wrong? What? Please? What's wrong? Come on, man, quit fucking around. And all of a sudden that door, boom, kicks open. And you see this dude, you grab the gun, pull the trigger, muzzle flash, and you fucking miss. You're blinded by the flash, you're pulling the trigger, this strobe like psychos coming around the bed. You know what I'm saying? Takes your fucking head off. You couldn't hear him, and you couldn't see him. Because you got your big ass for the biggest my dick. That's how big my fucking gun is, right? You had that 22. Even if you missed, you could hear his fucking psycho feet going around your bed. You can clip him. He'd leave. He'd fucking leave, because it's 22. You're not gonna kill him. 22 doesn't have enough stalking power, from what I heard, you know? Basically, as far as I can tell, in order to kill somebody with the 22, you gotta have it up against their head and be throwing a jab as you pull the trigger. Alright? That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It's like a roided up BB gun. You know? I actually think you could defend your house with a BB gun. You can do it. I don't give a fuck who the toughest person is in this building. If I started shooting at you with a BB gun, at the very least you have to go back outside and regroup. Yeah. You gotta get a plan. It's not worth it. So, anyways.
Long story short, Hugh Jackman plays the part of Gary Hart, and he was amazing. And I had a really fun scene where we were tailing him, we were chasing him down this alley, and he's like the nicest guy ever, but he's a big guy, he's like 6'4", he's ripped. And we went down the alley, and his character's mad at our character, and he just turned around and looked at us, and for half a second, I was like, oh, that's Wolverine. And I legit got scared, and he's a big guy, you know? So what's funny in this scene is as the reporter, I have like a notebook, and I dropped it. And after the screening, we went to the Toronto Film Festival, and all these actors are coming up to me. I love the choice you made. I love the choice you made to drop the notebook. I go, no, dude, that was real. I was like, they had a hard day at work, and that's all they need. So basically what happened was a lot of empty seats where I was up because StubHub was gouging people so bad. People just stayed home, so there was all these empty seats behind us. Really? So my buddy was taking his beer, empty beer cans, was sticking them there, and this guy, I don't know, he had a problem with it, and he was rather than just being, hey, do you mind, my wife and kid got to get by, can you just blah, 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 he just immediately went to, hey, was there something wrong with the bottom of your chair? And then it escalated, and then I pulled the ladies line, which usually diffuses it. I was like, ladies, come on, what are we doing? We're at the game came here, right? And I go to shake his hand. He doesn't shake my hand like an. So now, all my Boston anger comes up, and I'm just talking loudly about West Coast fans, forgetting that I'm a bald 50-year-old man that's going to get thrown off the upper deck. And finally, after an inning and a half, I'm at the World Series, and I'm mad at this idiot behind me. What do I care? Okay, what do I care about this guy? You know, he's not going to hurt us. There's 4 of us. You know, he was like 80 pounds overweight. So what's he going to fall on us? Like, that's the best thing he's going to do. So I went down to get a beer. When I came back, he was mean-mugging me the whole way up.
Oh, really?
He's with his wife and kid. He's sitting there, you know, looking like he just got out of Denny's. And he's looking at me like he's going to do something. So my eyes are starting to go, but I refuse to get glasses. So I'm sitting there, like, as I'm walking up, I'm like, is this guy looking at me? So, you know, when you have old eyes, you got to look away and then look back to make sure, right? So I did that. Now he thinks I'm soft. Like, oh, I got him. He blinked, right? So something happened on the walk up to him. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was just like, dude, come on, man. I got to respect the Dodgers. I love you guys. I'm sorry we put that thing. Can we just crush, you know, squash this, right? So I go to do the fist bump, and he's so immature, like emotionally, that when he went to do the fist bump, he didn't even move his hand up. He just had it in his lap, and he just kind of went like this. You know, like when a toddler goes to wave for the first time, they don't lift their arm up. They just imitate you like that. Like, he did that, and I did the fist bump, and then we were fine. So I think I figured something out.
What?
Because there's an overlap with Irish guys and Mexican dudes as far as, like, a disconnect. Like, you have, like, this anger, and, like, I think... Like, when you meet a 40-year-old Mexican dude, you got to do the math. That's like meeting a 60-year-old Irish guy in therapy years. Like, they're even more hardcore. Dude, they'll literally stand there, face 10 people with flamethrowers and not even flinch. Be like, what? I'm not backing down. So you have to give them, you got to give them the out. So I gave him the out, and then I squashed it. And then even my buddy, the Irish Boston guy next to me, afterwards, he walked out. He was just like, dude, how did you do that? How did you do that? It's just like, well, you know, I've been married for 5 years, losing fights all the time. So I've just learned.
Christina, congratulations on the baby. You just had the baby, right?
Yeah, little Friday morning.
Friday morning.
I did. My wife did. I didn't do anything. I felt unbelievably useless. I was in total panic mode. When I dropped her off at the emergency room, she goes, all right, you got to go park the car down in the spot. And I swear to God, I was in such fight or flight. I was driving down there, this voice in my head just said, just keep going. Just keep going. Just drive away. Of course I wouldn't, but I started laughing. Isn't there like a Bruce Springsteen song about that? Going out to get cigarettes, and there's something hilarious about people abandoning their family, where, like, I just can't imagine, like, the hell that you would be in to do that move. But just knowing you were going to do it, like, the level of excitement that you would have before, like, okay, I'm going to go get some cigarettes. And I'm never going to see you people again, your mother-in-law. All of this stuff is over.
By the way, dude, the elk's been delicious.
Thank you. How do you like it?
I made this American chop suey with it, and my wife gave a fucking bad review before anybody even tasted it, and everybody just said, fuck it. Like, she goes, it looks like Hamburger Helper. I've been chowing it for like 4 days. Like, out of respect for that fucking elk that you shot. It's like, I'm eating all this shit. I don't care if it's fucking bad.
Does it make you more aggressive?
What?
Elk.
No, Joe, you fucking lunatic. Somebody gets in my face, that might cause me to get more lunatic. I eat a little bit of protein. You had to beat the fuck out of people for like 3 decades before you could, like, chill, smoke a little weed, put on your Little Rascals hat, and just fucking chill out.
Yeah, I did too. We can't vote online. It's crazy. Dude, they handle money online, but you can't handle votes. That's ridiculous.
I bought a car. Part of it, they took out a thing. They wanted to take my thumbprint, my fingerprint.
Did you freak out?
And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I go, why would I do that? And they go, well, it's just to, it's to protect you in case somebody comes in and impersonates you to buy a car. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to take my chances on that. Fucking moron. I'm going to give my fingerprint to a car dealership? You guys are the biggest liars in the world, so you can stick it on some date rape victim's forehead? Get the fuck out of here.
Are you a Lee Harvey Oswald guy? Do you think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, or do you think it was a conspiracy?
I can't. There's too much shit to read.
Bill, it's so long ago, Bill.
Too many people would have their eyebrows up when they talk about it. It just makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's just like, like if you want to fucking just sit here and tell me what you think you know, I'll listen to it. But when you get into that like hamster energy, like you're running on a wheel, I don't want to be around you.
Bill,
Whatever.
who do you want to win?
I'm such a cunt that when Hillary's winning, I want Trump to win. When Trump is winning, I
That's how
want
you
Hillary
win
to
the
win.
World
And literally,
Series.
because I live in L.A., I like saying Trump shit just to annoy people. But if I lived in Kentucky, I would be going like Hillary, man. I just like annoying people. That's what it really comes down to. Like, you know, as much as people think I'm a misogynist, I agree with 90% of the shit feminists say until it comes out of a woman's mouth. And then I argue it.
How dare you?
Then I argue it because that's who I am.
Are you saying that the wife of the president of the United States doesn't matter?
I'm saying that Michelle Obama, the current wife, should run for president.
No, absolutely.
Why? Because she danced on Ellen? Being the wife of the president versus actually running the country is so fucking different. Give me
She
a fucking break.
also
So
danced
if
in
you marry
Ohio.
some dude and you're out there crushing it in arenas, you're like, your husband should then go do fucking stand-up because he hung
That's
around your
different.
comedy notebook? It's
No.
not different. It's
No,
not
it's
different.
not. It's not.
This
That's
whole
not.
fucking thing with these first ladies fucking picking a goddamn cause and all of a sudden like,
Here it
ooh,
comes.
they're presidential is fucking ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous at
Why?
all. It's
Why?
not ridiculous
Why?
because women have an opinion and we talk in your ear all the time. Are you telling me that when you designed your house, it was all your decision?
It has nothing-
And your
That's
wife
right,
didn't have
Sarah,
anything
tell
to
me.
do with it?
It has nothing to do
Are
with
you telling me
sex.
that you can go on tour
No.
wherever the fuck you want and your wife is like, yeah,
this
sure,
out.
go
I'll
ahead.
wait this out. What it has to do with is actually doing the job.
What do you mean doing the job? You
My
say
mother was a nurse. I hung out with her
she's
forever.
a lawyer just like him.
Time out. My mother was a nurse. I hung out with her my whole fucking life.
Right.
Okay? If someone came into the ICU unit, I didn't know what the fuck to do.
Well, that's because you're
Just
not
because I
trained.
hung around with her with scrubs.
That's completely different. You're not trained as a nurse. Barack Obama is a lawyer, and so is Michelle.
That's not a politician.
But it doesn't matter. Like, he wasn't a politician when he got elected. That was the whole thing about him.
No.
He had been a
But
senator,
going
but he
from
had very
fucking,
little experience.
you're talking about going from never being a politician to the highest fucking office
Which is
ever.
exactly what Trump is doing. That's exactly what
I'm
Donald
not
Trump
voting.
just
I
did.
didn't vote for him, you fucking lunatic.
I'm not saying you did.
You see that? That is sexist shit right there.
I didn't say
right
you did.
There.
I didn't say that
right
you did.
there.
I didn't
right
say that
fucking
you did.
there. That is the bullshit.
That is not what I
That
said.
is the double standard.
I did not say
fucking
that you
bullshit.
voted for him.
Right
I
there.
If I was a white knight and I was trying to fuck Sarah Tiana, I'd be yelling at you right now, Bill Burr.
I'm not
Dude,
trying to.
It's
That's not
such
what I said.
fucking bullshit.
I'll wait till you're done.
If Hillary, do you think who is that billionaire? Let me ask you this. Do you think
It's just a monkey. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what that is.
He took his shirt off. He waved it around. We reacted to it.
This is what else I did on my wonderful holiday break. I went down to the Comedy Store, did a set, had a great time, and I was driving home, and driving along Sunset, just starting to fucking listen to my tunes, and all of a sudden I go by this venue, and I look, and what do I see? I see Dave Chappelle and John Mayer are doing a show. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, right? So I call up a buddy of mine that books all the shows, and I said, hey, what's the story with this? Does John Mayer, come out with his band? Does Dave go on first? Does John go on first? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no. What happens is John comes out, plays like 4 songs. He brings Dave out. Dave does stand-up for an hour and a half, and then he brings John back out, and then they just sort of riff. As Dave talks about shit, John will play the music underneath, and I was like, I gotta fucking see that. So
me and the lovely Nia, we went down there because I never take her out on New Year's Eve because that is the original St. Patrick's Day. Plus, I go to the Rose Bowl the next day, so I need to get my sleep before I get absolutely hammered and pass out in a fucking chair for a couple hours, missing my meatball sub. So we went down there and just had it was such a great fucking night. And I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've ever seen two people that fucking talented. Like, there's usually one genius and then surrounded by a bunch of people who are just sitting there. Isn't he amazing? I'm so happy to be playing bass with this genius. Or I'm so happy to be fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck else. I'm so happy to be in the ice capades with this twirling genius, right? It was two of them. And what I kind of noticed about both of them is that they just so, like most genius minds, they get rid of all the fucking white noise. Everything about every bit that Chappelle did was just like, there was no fat on it. And he got right to the fucking point. Another thing that I loved was, I can't believe that I've been in this business long enough that we're like the older guys now. And it always blows my mind that I'm like 5 years older than Dave Chappelle because he was already a made guy when I came in. So I always look at him like he's got 10 years on me, you know, or 15. And, you know, just when I watch his act, I'm like, this guy's clearly been doing this a good couple of decades longer than me. And the reality is I think he's only been doing it like 6 years longer than I have or something like that. He's fucking amazing. And what I love, too, is just he's that same, with all that's changed, everybody getting offended, all of this fucking crap, how you get in trouble, he hasn't changed at all. He's just like that same guy that I saw way back in the day when I used to go to the Boston Comedy Club and watch him go on at like 2 a.m. and just start murdering at 2 a.m. And I remember I used to always sit there going, how do you do that? How are you that funny at 2 a.m. in front of a crowd that gave up on the show like an hour ago and they're tired and they just want to go home? That second he steps on stage, boom, he just starts fucking killing. So, you know, Dave's up there murdering. Me and Nia are like just fucking laughing, dying, having a great time. And then he brings John Mayer back on. I don't want to ruin the show for him because I don't know how many they're going to do. But basically, if Dave was up there and he was just saying, like, you know, I was watching fucking Hawaii 5-0, like, John, whatever he fucking riffs, and it's clearly that Dave is just riffing, like, Mayer can play whatever the fuck he said. And Dave said that at one point. He goes, I don't know if you guys realize this shit, but John Mayer can play whatever he hears. And then he just started doing all this crazy shit, like making his guitar sound like a cat or a car beeping. Like, it went beyond I can play songs. Like, he could just do noises around the house. But it was fucking incredible. So if you get a chance, I don't know, you know, if you get a chance to go see the show, definitely go do it. All right. And with that, let me, speaking of which, let me promote this. The Patrice O'Neill Comedy Benefit. And I forgot to fucking ask Dave Chappelle if he ever wanted to come in and do it. God damn it. Anyways. I got to call out fucking Michael Rappaport, okay? Okay, and, you know, you would think that I'm going to call him out for the fact that his resting face. You ever heard of resting bitch face? You know what his face looks like? It looks like, you remember that face Danny Ainge would make after he got called for a foul? That's what his resting face looks like. All right? Now, I love this man, except when he talks sports. I've never seen somebody hate on Boston sports the way he does, right? So he wrote some more bullshit about Boston sports. So I call him up, breaking his balls, going, dude, you know what you wrote isn't true. Laughing. We have a great fucking time. He goes on the internet like some Real Housewife whore. Right? And you know what he said? He said, wow, Bill Burr just called me up, like, threatening me, blah, 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 and all this fucking... He's tweeting like some Instagram whore that's just trying to get fucking followers. I don't understand it, Michael. If somebody send you into this clip right now, I even told him how fucking bitchy he was being about Boston sports. Like I guess he was freaking out that the Celtics might get Kevin Durant. I did, in fact, to confirm Michael Rappaport's Real Housewife tweet. By the way, is there anyone, can somebody please Photoshop him into one of those Real Housewife fucking things? We had a great conversation, laughing our balls off, and we came to an agreement in the end of it. And that Danny Ainge-looking motherfucker goes on the internet, and he tweets 180 letters or less about me. By the way, I have to apologize for, I love Michael Rappaport. Every time I see him, I always feel like this is the last time I'm ever going to see him. There's just something about him. Even though he's younger than me, he just moves around like he's in his 80s. I think he has that disease. You know that disease Brad Pitt had in that movie where he was like a fucking old baby? Whatever the fuck happened, I don't know. That's what he reminded. No, that was just a fable, right? What was it called? A fairy tale. Whatever. He's like that, like when a fucking 8-year-old looks like they're 70, whatever that disease is called. I was going to say George Mikan. That wasn't the guy. Who was the guy who played on Ohio State? Who went to Portland? That poor bastard. The microfractures in his feet. I think he's playing in China now. I can't remember. All I'm thinking is Haven Moses, and I know he played for the Broncos in the 70s. I want to say his name was George, wasn't it? Okay, we got to look this up now. Ohio State, Portland, not microbrewery. Get the fuck out of here. Microbreweries are the worst, really. All right, what's his name? Greg Oden. Michael Rappaport has Greg Oden disease. He does. And like Greg Oden, he got paid a ton of fucking money, and he didn't follow through. He got paid the National Podcasting Association drafted him number one to come on into the podcasting world to talk about sports, thinking that he was going to be unfair. No, thinking that he was going to be biased and fair. I can't even fucking talk this morning. Oh, my God. I can't wait to do his podcast again. Who's kidding who? We're both a couple of Real Housewives. You know what I mean? I think I'm slightly better looking than him, though. Slightly. And a little more mobile. I think I bring a lot more to a team. I'm like Spike Owen, right? Utility player. Him, I don't know what he is. He's like a fucking... Rappaport's like a fucking, he's like that DH. His career's over. He can't touch his toes, so they can't have him play first base. He just sits on the bench eating sunflower seeds. Gets up 3-4 times a game, squinting into the fucking sun. He just swings through the fences. Grounds out into a double play, kills the rally, but he's got such a big contract they can't get rid of him. He's like Greg Luzinski if he went on a diet. Although no disrespect to Greg Luzinski. All right, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here.
Bill, I loved your last special that was on Netflix recently. You shot that before the election. And it ended up airing after the election.
Yep.
What was that like?
It was stupid. I should have waited till after the election. It never dawned on me because I don't pay attention to politics.
Right,
I don't care. I don't care. No.
Really?
You shouldn't pay attention. Like, if you're a minority or you're an immigrant, you should pay attention. But if you're just run-of-the-mill white guy running around, I don't have enough money to give to Trump for him to pay attention to me. You know what I mean? That Illuminati level where they pay like $9,000 for fucking eggs. And then afterwards you go up and shake his hand and say, oh, you want to put a pipeline through a teepee, right? And he lets it happen because you gave him all this money for eggs, right?
Titans of industry.
Yeah, and then afterwards, they all go out and they do the speech circuit, and that's how they all make money. They go back to the guys that bought the eggs 8 years earlier, right? And they give their stupid speeches, right? As the people in the crowd are eating like a deep-fried eagle, right? They don't care about America. And, no, that's what kills me about Obama. All this stuff they're showing him like he's this hero. You know what I mean? Every picture of him now, he's always kayaking. Looks like an erectile dysfunction ad. You know, like this guy didn't do, like he didn't do all these drone bombings. Like, were those terrorists? Were they playing hacky sack? I don't know. You want some soft shell crab? You know, like he wasn't part of that? Sorry. So this is why I don't talk politics, because I'm into conspiracy theory, man.
Are you really?
I'm into it, yeah.
How Alex Jones deep, or?
I think that whoever runs this is a robot and didn't like map out what human beings are shaped like, which is why they sort of had an idea of what chairs were. And that's what they... So this show is making me paranoid. No, I don't do like that the moon is made out of cheese or anything like that. I just think people are inherently evil, and if they get the opportunity to take more, they're going to do it. And I think that's what's going on.
So no, don't pay attention to politics because it's not. There's nothing that you can
I
really
tried
do.
to watch that guy testifying today. That was one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my life. It's like, why don't they just say it? Like, did the Russians fuck with the election? They don't. They go, oh, September 6th at 11 a.m. How would you just... You just like... I think they do that on purpose so no one pays attention. And then somewhere in the... They sort of whisper it like 9 hours in. Did the Russians fuck with it? Oh, okay. And then they just sort of plow through. Was that what it was about? Wasn't it about that?
Something like that.
The head of the FBI or something?
Yeah, James Comey, the former director of the FBI.
I just know he's 6'8", which was hilarious.
Humongous.
I just pictured him in the police academy, like when he had to go over that giant wall, him just like stepping over it. And he had to buy like one of those custom sweatshirts.
Huge legs.
Yeah, at some point, aren't you too tall to be a cop? You can't, because you can be on undercover. Just his whole head sticking out of the car. What's with that 7-foot guy over there who keeps following us around? I'm starting to feel like you can't blend in at 6'8", right?
You can't do a stakeout at all.
No.
So going back to the special, you said that you felt like it was a mistake because you shouldn't cover politics. Does that mean that there's no politics in the future of any of your specials at all?
I don't know. I might, if something, like the bit I'm doing now is I talk about Hillary, because I'm like fascinated not by who wins, it's like by who loses. Just the level of fame that you had, and everybody caring, and there's news trucks and all that, and all of a sudden the second you lose, as you're giving your speech, like, we fought a good fight, and they're like wrapping up wire, and all the vans are driving away. It's like you were in NSYNC and you weren't Justin Timberlake, so then you got to wait for his movie career to dip so you can do a cruise or some shit. And it just fascinates me that dream didn't come true, and she's married to a guy where it did come true, and they got to be in the same house. And the tension of that, it's just got to be excruciating.
And he's arguably one of the reasons that you might have lost as well.
Yeah, because she didn't involve him. Yeah.
What do you mean because she
That's
didn't
like
involve
when the Rams didn't give the ball to Marshall Faulk. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? This guy's he's a beast. He had the job for 8 years. He got impeached. They still couldn't kick him out. He fucks around all the time, and women still love him. I mean, the guy he's like bulletproof.
Yeah.
You already saw Al Gore not use him and lose. Why would you do that again? Stupid move. Stupid move. Yeah, and then they tried to blame racist white people. That was the dumbest theory ever. It's like, where were all those racists the last two elections when they could have voted against a black guy? They were fine with that, but this white woman is going to take my jet skis, right? I love this dude texting for the entire interview. It's just trying to keep the attentions of millennials. It's like impossible. Look at him. He's already got the chains. He's probably got his own record label. He's like making deals as we speak. He's got championship rings on. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but I want your life, man. You're crushing it.
So are you in the process?
I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This is what... This was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water, and they're immediately walking by him. They're not even going to see it. Oh, yeah, and there's a drop-off in fame for Jesus at that point. Everyone was paying attention. Now no one gives a shit. Oh, there we go. No, but now this is like the ego one. Now I'm going to be sitting above you.
Yeah,
you got to come with two. It's fine. It's fine. Sir, the one The one comedy through line that's working here is me shitting on this chair. Why would you take that from me? You're just totally going against the grain. I understand it. But you got on camera, so I think you get paid, even though this is online.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bill Burr. Big story. Now we're hearing the love child is what, in college? I mean,
14.
His age gets
it was 10.
older every day.
Now
we're up to 14.
14.
14-year-old.
And the pictures look exactly like a young Arnold.
What's your take on this? Because we're basically saying, what a pig.
The woman's a slob.
She's a fucking pig.
It's a little reckless.
Yeah. And tad reckless.
Look,
I mean, even the younger version of her is
but here's
rough
the thing.
to look at.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, she did some things to him that his wife never did.
Well,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, figuring that out.
You know what? I thought that was actually, I didn't say it said TMZ. I thought that was actually writing on her dress.
Yeah.
Like some new style of clothes. What do I think? Who hasn't, shit where you eat? We've all done it. The next day woken up going, good Lord, my two worlds have just collided. How am I gonna finesse this one? But this guy, I was saying to Jim, he took shitting where you eat to the end.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go beyond that.
Mm-hmm. That's as close as you can get, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was at the house talking with the wife.
The wife was commiserating about Arnold's affairs with her.
Really?
She was complaining he has affairs, and the woman's like, well, it's just the way he is. And I guarantee
Can
Maria
you believe that? Well, yeah, believe it or not, I can.
Yeah, Maria Shriver probably said one thing that made this woman want to fuck him. Like, he just can't. I mean, his big Austrian cock is so thick. I don't know how anybody takes it. That lady's little light in her head.
If she was the house person there, that means when she had a kid, at some point, what's her name, Maria?
Yeah.
She probably held the baby and took a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had them 5 days apart. They had kids 5 days apart.
Actually, there is a picture of her holding the other kid.
Oh, look at the face. It's kind of going like,
with Maria.
That's that jaw's awful wide.
Baby had a little flat top and sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid the Terminator.
Oh, Chip. Oh, fucking Chip.
Well, now our pal Ian Halpern's saying there could be up to six women or 6 other children.
6 other children, I think. Saying.
I think you can't judge somebody for doing some shit like that until you've been in their position with that level of temptation. I think it's very easy to be an out-of-shape slob shuffling to and from your cubicle, being like, you believe that piece of shit? I saw this thing one time. Russ Maneve told me about this show. They were showing people who won the lottery. And
it's the greatest show.
How it ruined their lives. There was this guy.
One after another.
Big slob. Worked at like a Home Depot or something, married his high school sweetheart, love of his life, just one of these great guys. If he died, straight to heaven, express lane, right? Never did anything bad. He wins the lottery. All of a sudden, the hottie at Home Depot, or whatever the fucking place was, starts paying attention to him, and he didn't know how to handle it. Next thing you know, he starts banging her. He gets caught. His wife goes, it's over. He goes, fine. He moves out. And after 3 days, he's like, what am I doing? So he calls her up to get her back, and the wife says, go fuck yourself. And then he hangs up all dejected, and then she goes, what am I doing? So then she drives over there to reconcile with him, and by the time she got over there, the guy killed himself.
Holy shit.
Okay? This guy stepped into Schwarzenegger's world for like 3 weeks, and he couldn't handle it.
He couldn't take it.
Offed himself.
And Schwarzenegger, for 14 years.
This poor bastard has had to live with his fame and power.
Yeah,
for 30 years. He's
poor
a victim.
Guy.
He's a victim.
Why not play it safe there, Bill Burr? That's my question. Wear a bag or maybe pull out. Make sure you're not getting women pregnant.
Because, look, the same way old people still say colored instead of African American, this guy is not going to wear a bag. He came up in the 60s and 70s. There was nothing. You got a shot in the ass, you were fine. He's just living by the old rules.
old school rules, man.
And probably in the end, he doesn't
bag.
give a shit. He probably didn't even fucking like Maria Shriver.
It's the kids involved, though. Oh,
that was a marriage of convenience for his political career.
I'm thinking.
You have to understand what this guy accomplished in his life and how just invincible he must feel.
Yeah.
There's no way a guy who talks like he talks should become a movie star. A love interest.
How did he do that?
Could do a movie with Danny DeVito and it's a huge hit. None of it makes
Comedy.
sense. And then and then becomes governor.
Right.
My fellow Americans.
California.
He probably said comrade during his fucking political speeches, and he still got elected. Why wouldn't he think he could go raw and bang his fucking housewife? We will have a kid and you will shut up.
And she did.
And she did. And they fired her, and that's why she was threatening to talk, and that's why it broke. I forget why he had to tell.
Why did he fire her?
Yeah.
I think that it was, no, Maria wanted her fired.
Oh,
because
boy.
of, she knew, she found out. I wonder if the kid was just looking too much like him and people were starting to know. There's something happened, something got set in motion where the fucking lady
All
was
he
going
had
to
to
talk.
do is sit down with her and just say, look, she found out. So obviously, you know, just out of respect for her, this is how it's going to go down. All right. I'll make a big show out of it. I'm going to fire you, but you're still on the payroll.
Yeah, don't worry
all
about
right.
it.
I'm going to take care of you and our kid. You know, I love our kid. You know, just say all the shit you got to say.
Set you up at a nice place.
You can't. Yeah. Once women feel like the gravy train is over. Yeah, that's when they make their next business move, which nowadays is to write the book.
Yeah.
To go on TV. You know it's coming.
Yeah, the dejected, scorned woman.
Yeah.
Well, she'll say some shit.
I bet she what did you photoshopped Schwarzenegger's head on a picture of Tiger Woods and sent it to him. Get ready for the next week.
You want this?
But they would fuck unprotected in the house during the day. It was an ongoing thing. I actually feel bad for his wife because she remembers every conversation she had with that woman.
I don't feel bad
about
for her.
his cheating.
She knew. She's stupid for fucking hanging in there like that. She knew.
Yeah.
She had to know years ago.
Yeah, she
So
knew.
why
he
the
was
fuck
cheating her.
did she stay in it?
Because she had
Because
kids
she
with
wanted to
him.
be. Nah, that's bullshit. I think it had more about the power of the whole thing.
But she left. No,
She
she's
kinda
a Kennedy,
bailed
man.
at it.
I think there
She's
is
a Kennedy.
I think that's a good point. There's an element of okay, so I'm going to leave this guy. But she's a Kennedy though, so she does have money.
She's not impressed by power. She's fucking. She's
I don't
like.
know about
But she
that,
left
man.
her whole career and shit.
But that's what I'm saying. She
But
left
he
a very
was-
prestigious job
He
to
was
be
the
with him. She loved
governor
him.
of California. That's way the fuck up there.
She was with him before that. She was with him for 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah, well,
But he was just a movie actor.
Yeah.
Like, she loved this guy. She's again, she's a fucking Kennedy, man.
I
They're
think the
used
love-
to powerful people.
I think the love left that relationship a long time ago.
Maybe. And
I
she knew
really
he was
do.
cheating, too. She knew.
I think it's a world we don't understand. It's a whole power thing. And sure, she's a Kennedy, but you want to keep that power going. And maybe that would fuck up the Kennedy power, that she's a weak, that this happened to her. So maybe she was hoping that she could keep it all together. You know what I mean?
I think Kennedy. I think Schwarzenegger was just like a fan of politics. And he was like fascinated with the Kennedys. That's probably why he married her. Kind of like Nick Cage married like Elvis's daughter.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think
Can I wear his blue suede shoes? You know?
Yeah. And I think
can I go upstairs to Graceland? You know, you just like got such a fan.
Take a dump on the death toilet.
Yeah, then he sees the toilet. He's like, oh, I got to fuck her forever now?
Let me ask you this. Why are the
Once the tour's over. God, I married her.
Why are the Clintons still married? It's a power thing. They're not in love with each other, but they know they're better. Their careers are better if they're still married.
I think they're two peas in a pod. How would you say it? Two peas
Yeah,
in the
two peas in a pod.
In the pod.
I-
in the
Yes.
pod.
Yeah, I think they're the exact same. They choose. They choose the whole political thing. It's better for us to stay together.
That's
This is
way
the-
more important than the love aspect of this whole fucking thing. And I think,
they
I think there's
replace
some of
love
that
with, like,
at play here
career
with Maria
shit.
Shriver. I really do.
Well, she actually got to run for president just because she was married to one. It was one of the most hilarious stories ever.
Right. Hillary never would have fucking been able to do that.
Right.
Yeah. If I watch a plumber fix my sink, should I then just be a plumber?
You're a plumber.
I stood next to him when he fixed it.
You're qualified.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. This is one of the worst speeches I ever saw.
No, the worst is I'm something long way. What would she say? Was she spoken to the black congregation? Did you ever hear that?
She was trying to
is it bad?
add in a little southern
You know
black
how we
twang.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fucking horrendous.
Something
tired.
I like when she gave that speech and she goes, if she comes here, she want to run for whatever the fuck she ran for here in New York. She had a big Yankee fan. She goes, I've always been a Yankee fan.
Senator Clinton and her campaign took a trip down south, and apparently so did her accent. Listen to this.
I don't feel no ways tired.
Oh.
I come too far from where I started from.
Is she quoting a speech?
Nobody told me that the
I think
road
so.
would be easy. I don't won't believe he brought me this far to leave me. And the chair of all the mayors in the country, Mayor Palmer from Trenton, New Jersey.
Wow, that travel in
What
the
a
world,
phony.
but that travel in the world has fucked her up. She doesn't sound or look anything like
There's
that
not
anymore.
a genuine bone in her fucking body.
No.
There's not a genuine bone in her fucking body.
Or her husband's bone.
But no, she's this picture.
It's a joke about
Fucking
her
picture of
too.
feminism and strength, and all she do is stay married to a guy who dump loads on everybody but her.
And
she's
still does,
she's
I'm
your
sure.
idiot friend who just took shit.
And like Bill said, because she was married to a president, she got to run for president. That happens in politics all the time. When one of these guys dies, all of a sudden their wife becomes the congressman.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's fucked
like
up.
Sonny Bono's wife
is a classic
example.
example.
She still is.
You don't want to get life insurance as a politician.
Right.
It's not only are they going to get money, they're going to get a great job.
Get your gig.
But how does that make
I
sense?
want to go up to the thing and say stuff and have people clap. I also think it's time to get this country back to work. I can do that. All you have to do is read it off the thing.
But why do they allow that?
I like parades.
Ridiculous.
They allow that in that world.
It makes no sense.
No sense at
Dude,
all.
why is it a national story? Donald Trump announces that he's not going to run for president. Like he was this legitimate candidate.
That was ridiculous.
Jimmy had a great take on it, where he, sacrificed. You had a great take on it.
I don't remember.
Just basically where
I can't run because they're going to take away my TV show.
Instead of running instead of running the free world, he'd rather tell some fucking third-rate celebrity they're fired.
Yeah, watch celebrities make fucking pound cake.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot. So is everybody who rallies to his aid.
Did he basically say the country needs him? It's time. He needs to fucking turn this thing around.
This country is bankrupt, and I've gone bankrupt many times this year.
I know how it is.
I know what it's like to be bankrupt. I know how to get out of it.
But I'd rather have a cupcake making contest with fucking third-rate celebrities.
Did you ever hear this expression, Neil Brennan? I was talking to Neil Brennan, and he was just talking. He was talking about like how certain rich people act, and he made a good point. Like people who are, he goes, yeah, someone's born on third base and they act like they hit a triple. Like, talking about, like, children of privilege. I thought, what a great way to fucking phrase it. I don't know if that's Neil's expression, but I'm like, what a fucking great way to say that is. God, I wish I thought of that.
Yeah, that would be, that's him in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened there, Jimmy? I daydreamed halfway through that.
That's okay.
It happens on the show.
Believe me, things I've been saying, everyone should be daydreaming. As soon as my mouth opens, it's nap time for the audience.
You had to say it the second time, and then I actually got it. I think I'm a little overtired here.
Yeah, a little punchy.
Why? You go out last night?
No, I'm just on
LA time?
West Coast time. I couldn't fall asleep till 2 in the morning.
Because you were excited about doing the show, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I always get excited.
That fucking happened. I slept
I always get
yesterday
excited
too late.
to see you guys. I come in, I shake your hands like I'm running for fucking office.
I know. I am Bill Burr.
Bill Burr from the 5th District. How are you?
I think it's time for change.
My blue or red tie.
Yeah.
No, and then you'd start telling me about the hardship of your life, and I know there's cameras there, so I just sort of strike some pose that'll make it look like I'm really listening.
Well, I've been out of work now for quite a few months, and it's hard raising a family on unemployment.
Now I reach out, I put my hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Everybody takes the pictures. Yeah.
We just want work. We just want an honest day's work for an honest day's wage.
You see, I have a blue tie on. That means I care about you.
I see that. Thank you. Hey, you got my vote.
Okay.
Gonna get my jobs. Get America working again. And the thumbs up.
Thumbs up, and I get back in my Lincoln Town Car stretch limousine. I told you guys that story that time I met Bill Clinton.
No.
I tell you that he was coming to town. He was giving a speech, and my brother wanted to go. He wanted to go down there, and I was like, dude, I want to go. He's like, nah, come on, it's going to be great. So he gets me and one of my other buddies, the biggest fucking pothead ever. We could give a shit. I'm hungover. So we head down there, and we're all he wanted to do was see the motorcade go by with the Secret Service. So we're standing there waiting, and as it's coming down the street, it gets about 50 yards away from us, and it makes a left down this alley. And I'm like, great, yeah, that was fucking awesome. So he goes into some like woman's college or something to go to make a speech. So my brother's like, all right, this will take like 45, 50 minutes. I'm gonna go grab a slice, then we'll see it drive by. So we're standing like, dude, this is fucking ridiculous, right? Brother leaves to go get a slice of pizza. Like fucking, I swear to God, 8 minutes later, crowd starts going crazy. Clinton starts walking down the street. It's him, Ted Kennedy, and they do like this impromptu, just shaking hands with people, and the Secret Service is freaking out, going, everybody keep your hands up. Have your hands up where we can see them. We're probably about 3 deep, standing behind these police barricades. And he came walking by, and he didn't say a fucking word. He had both hands... This is going to be bad radio bit. He had both hands in the air and this smile on his face with his mouth open like, yeah, like he was going, oh. That's what he looked like. But he wasn't saying anything. And I'm looking at the guy going, this guy's fucking retarded.
It's just,
right?
Just a photo.
But then the next day in the paper, he looked like $1 million. He had his hand up and he was like he was laughing with all of us.
Oh, shit.
He put both hands in the air like he was going to, like, you know, give me a fucking high 10, I guess. And then he just had his mouth open. He just struck a pose.
And he knew that would look great in a still photo.
And walked right down. Dude, he looked like he had an aneurysm, but somehow could still walk. And softest fucking hands ever.
Really?
And then Ted Kennedy came by, dude, with this giant microwave head. And I'm just thinking, how did he not get assassinated? This shit, a 5-year-old could take this dude out from fucking across the river.
Shit. You shook Clinton's hand.
I more like high five.
Oh, cool.
He just walked down like you scored a goal. You know, and you just and he just had a. That's all he did.
And he looked retarded.
Where was your brother?
Like he was on Skype and his face froze. That's basically it. And he just was walking down the thing.
There it is. Look at that.
Look at it.
Yeah, that was it. That was exactly it. That's his look. Mouth a little bit open, smiling.
He figured that shit out a long time ago.
Yeah, because when you talk, then you're gonna have like that twisted. You know, you can't talk during a picture.
So you freeze your face, walk, and the still picture in the paper looks great, no matter where you are.
Yeah, because they always want to use the one picture where you look like shit.
Yeah. So here's the best part.
That.
Here's the best part. So this all goes down in like 20 seconds. They jump in the motorcade and drive away, and within like a minute, all is left is those little police horse things. You know, stay behind it. You know, and then some litter. And we're standing there going, oh, fuck. And then my brother comes back with a slice of pizza. And he goes, he goes, did I miss it? And we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we shook his hand.
You really
He goes, fuck you. And he didn't believe me, but then he saw my pothead friend. He was doing like this sort of side gallop in a circle, high out of his mind, going, I shook it twice. There it is. There's his face.
He knows how to do the face.
Make the face.
Because it looks like he's either listening or answering or being good-natured. He is a smart guy, man.
Reaching out to the people.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, he's not a dumb guy.
I need to make a connection.
And they tell the crowd to keep their hands up, huh?
Probably on a fucking walk like that.
This is pre-9/11.
Wow.
When a president could be like, I'm going for a stroll.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk a little bit.
Gerald Ford tried it.
Press the flesh. Yeah, Ford tried it. And Squeaky didn't like
and there was somebody with a gun. Like, that's why they're so afraid of letting you walk. He tries to walk, and there's somebody with a gun on the fucking... Yeah. He was supposed to be in a car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
That's a great story.
Hey, what would happen if you yelled gun?
Oh,
as a practical joke.
Shit.
You're just doing the Clint Eastwood impression. Gun!
You would be so
just to watch people in suits hitting the pavement.
Oh, you would be so fucked.
I said, there's nothing wrong with smoking weed. I don't give a shit if you smoke more of it. Right. But my point is, stop acting like it's this, like, what is the fucking word? Not harmless, just like there's no side effects. Like, like this is the shit that's out there about weed. That it's not addictive. I drive better when I'm on it. I don't know, dude. It's like everything's in focus, man. They hate that voice.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. You know, potheads, man. It's like when they drive down the street, man, it's just like not only you're focused on the road, you're taking in nature. Like all that shit and acting like it's the answer to all the universe's fucking problems.
Sorry, my wife's been watching all this fucking reality, and that's all they say on that. Everything, it's so about them. They just go, for me. I just feel like for me, when I saw those starving children, I thought, you know, as bad as it is, I would love to have that waistline. Do you know what I mean? I'll let you get on. Oh, here's where the San Jose fucking Sharks! It's the Sharks! What the fuck would they call him? Probably call him his real name, like Todd. It's Mike Arbuckle, everybody. He's kind of fat, isn't he? Don't say that, it'll hurt his feelings.
Everybody, they
Yeah.
just want to
You know,
sit there
I was
and
making a
prod me.
conscious effort not to even bring up the Philly video because I can't imagine you're not sick and tired of talking about it.
Nah, I don't give a shit. It was a great thing. Got an extra 12 friends on MySpace. Sold a couple more CDs.
Guy sent me this video going, hey, my daughter took her first steps. And then when you press play is like over her goods. And I press play and the kid's completely naked, just sitting there like walking like that. And I was going to text him like, dude, don't send me like naked photos of your kid, a video. You haven't watched To Catch a Predator?
Just YouTube.
YouTube. Drum lessons, I take those, but like YouTube and shit, like there's certain things. Like I would take a cooking class or something, but with my fucking ADD, like the internet is perfect.
You can shut it off when you want.
Yeah,
turn
I
it
can
on
read
when you
about the
want.
Illuminati, and then I'm learning how to make a pie, and then I'm watching a bear fight an eagle. Dude, I have one set where I am bombing so bad, but in my head, I think I'm doing well. So I got this stupid look of confidence on my face, and it's just the worst jokes. They're horrible. It haunts me. Yeah. That's my sex tape. Is somebody, is somebody finding my old VHS tapes.
Are you in the process of working on new material for a new special? How often do you do specials at this point? Do you do one a year?
No, I do them every couple of years. I do them when I feel like, you know, you got to get to a point of being sick of your act, but not in a really bad way. It's like I would say, you know, when you're going to break up with someone, but you still need like another 60 days. They got a birthday coming up. You're like, I can't do it this month. You got to get to that level with your act. Where you're like, all right, man, I got to dump these jokes and move on.
So are you working on new material and building up to that point where you're sick of it?
Yeah. No, I'm working on it. And, you know, I became a dad for the first time.
Congratulations.
January. I love it. I'm going to say that for the rest of my life. If you guys like hearing other human beings applaud for you, always say that. You know, I just became a parent. Everything.
Wait, I have a question in regards to just becoming a dad. One of my favorite bits of material that you did, I thought it was one of the ballsiest pieces of material that you did, was in a few specials ago when you talked about how women praise each other all the time for being mothers. And they say, being a mother is the hardest job out there.
Most difficult job. Oprah said that.
Oprah said that, yeah. Has your opinion on that phrase changed at all since you've had a kid?
No. It's not the most difficult job on the planet. It just isn't. Dude, I did roofing in July. As a redhead, I almost died. There's people that work on like oil. What was that movie that guy made? The fucking, you know, they drill for oil. What is it?
There Will Be Blood?
There Will Be Blood. Out in the ocean, they would drill. I can never remember the names.
Deepwater.
Mark Wahlberg was
Deepwater Horizon, yeah.
Those guys were working on an oil rig. The fucking thing blows up. They're on fire. They got to jump into water that's on fire. Salty water into their wounds. You got to swim out of that oil and fire and then tread water, praying to God that the Coast Guard is going to get there before the sharks do. Now talk to me about a toddler. Oh, he was so fussy today. He wouldn't eat his peas. Yeah, and just the level of reward that is, you know, as annoying as a kid is, like they smile at you and it's over. It's over. So, I mean, you don't get that, you know, working on an oil rig when your buddy's greasy face lights up. You're like, you know what, it really is all worth it. No, it's pandering. It's pandering to the same way I just said I just became a dad to get the applause. I liked it.
How's it been?
I'm going to take the subway out here. I'm just going to yell that on the platform like a crazy person. Just became a dad.
How's it been so far?
It's been great. It's been nothing but great. Instant love her to death. And the only thing that's been bad is just other parents. I don't like talking to other parents. Generally speaking, they just can't shut up about their kids, and they think everything about their kids is fascinating while they don't give a shit about your kid, and they can never put themselves into your position and be like, oh, wait a minute, he doesn't give a shit about my kid. You got to wrap it up quick. How's your kid? Great, just started smiling, sitting up on himself. Go ahead. I'm sitting up by himself, I should say, not on himself. Sitting up by himself. Now you talk about your kid, and then shut up about it. You know what's the worst is when somebody has a kid like a year or two older, and then they just start going like, oh, I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you in a month from now. Enjoy this period. And they try to bring all this anxiety. That's a big thing parents do. They try to bring anxiety
on like what's going to happen and all that. So now when people do that, I just say to them, this is my line. I go, you sound like a terrible father, and I think you married the wrong person. It's like, no, it's like that's what you got out of it. This is the most amazing thing is like, oh, you can't drink anymore. You can't go out partying, which you totally can. I don't recommend it, but you really can do whatever you can do blow right in front of your kid. I mean, what is it? It's a baby. It doesn't know what cocaine is. And even if it did, its hands are too small to use the phone to rat you out. So as long as you don't teach the kid how to use the phone, you ought to be able to do blow for his whole like first 8 years of his life. So he figures out how to open up a window and get out the world. He's a horrible person. He snorts all the sugar. He won't let me pick up things. This is the only way you can be comfortable in these fucking chairs. This is like in the middle of my back. Oh my God, I love you, but I hate this set. This is the lowest budget shit. You know what it is? It's the rent. It's the fucking rent. You did all this stuff. You should get rid of that camera and get some chairs.
What kind of chair would you prefer?
Comfortable, adult-sized chair. No, I have bad posture. That's what it is.
So do I. I have to lean to the side like this.
All right.
My biggest fear about having kids is having those conversations with other parents where they're just spouting all those cliches that you've heard all the time. Like, this is going to happen to your kid, or this is what I prescribe for your kid, or this is how you should parent. And
That's why I love people who don't have kids now. I love meeting somebody that doesn't have a kid and say that I have a kid, and they just go, oh, that's great, man. You having a good time? Yes.
Yeah.
Over. Over.
There's not much more to add.
No, because then they start talking about schools and like how I guess all the public schools are like knife fights now for evidently. I don't know what they're talking about, but so you got to get your kids, you know, you got to start early and it's going to cost $90,000, you know. I don't know. I think I'm going to homeschool my kid, just make it a complete freak. Just fill it up with my theories or something. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Conspiracy theories?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's mostly just lessons about conspiracy theories and the
I hate
Machiavelli.
people like that when they don't have their dog on a leash, like trying to show off like that. Look at that fucking thing. Everybody thinks they're the dog. But why would you do that? You know what I mean? They want to smell other dogs. If it meets another dog that's a maniac, then it's in a fight. Then you got to break it up. It's very irresponsible. Can I open the window and yell, you're going to be a terrible mother? I don't know why. I don't mean any of this. I'm just mad at myself for staying out so late last night. I should have worked out.
I can't believe you stayed out so late to argue with someone who uses their elliptical as a basis for their taste in music.
I know. You know, you have a couple of beers, it messes with your judgment. If I was stone sober, I would have been like, this isn't worth getting into. I just would have done the eyebrows up, like, I would have gone back to my eggs, and I didn't. And I'll never live that down. And that's what I'm here to confess. And I would be called brave if anybody gave a fuck about me. Go ahead, give me a topic.
Saving the whales.
You know, when you look at the Earth from space, which so few of us get the chance to do, like I did in this movie when I pretended to be an astronaut, most of it is water. And the biggest thing in the water are whales. And like us, they also communicate. And just because we don't understand them, let me finish, just because we don't understand them does not mean that they are not saying something and they do not deserve a voice that needs to be heard. And despite the current administration, I vow to continue fighting for these whales. Thank you. Sorry, I kind of petered out. But you know what I mean? I still fucking did it.
Basic.
So to be a badass bitch, how would I have to dress?
If you have to ask, then you're never going to be that. So you're finished.
I knew that long ago.
A lot of the greats will have like, you know, 1, 2, 3. They just have that one killer one, you know, which I've obviously yet to have. Or I wouldn't be doing an interview on a handheld, whatever, disposable camera in the back of a fucking cab.
You hang all your own stuff, you do that?
Yeah.
Dude, Stud Finder changes your fucking life. There's nothing worse than when you do the knocking thing and you think you got it. And you're like, yeah, this is solid, then it just goes.
you like lose the screw and you hear it fall down there. You're like, fucking cocksucking piece of fucking shit.
I was watching some fucking clip. I didn't realize this. I guess like a year ago or 2 years ago, you know that actress Shelley Duvall who crushed it in The Shining? Well, she's in her 60s now, and I guess she's having, I don't know what she's having. She's having some sort of mental issue. I don't know what it is. That piece of shit fucking interviewed Shelley Duvall and talked to her as if he was trying to help her. And she was saying all of this stuff about how Robin Williams was still alive and fucking, you know, the earth is flat and just all kinds of stuff like that where it's clearly like, okay, oh my God, all right, shut off the cameras, shut off the cameras. Come on. I don't think I got 20 seconds, 30 seconds into it. The second she said the Robin Williams thing and then they cut to him, go, so you're saying, once he did that, I had to just, it's like, shut it off.
Of this show. And we did 6 the first season. If you have children, do not watch it in front of your children. If you're texting your wife now, sir, just let her know. Yeah, not to watch it in front. I wouldn't watch it in front of kids.
I love the show. I love the first season. I love the first episode of the second season. I can't wait to watch more of it. What did you want to do differently with this season? Was there something that you guys did in the first 6 episodes of the first season that you wanted to course correct or change, or a place you wanted to bring the characters that was different?
We were just sort of, progressing the stories that we left off. Like after the first season, Frank was still looking for a job, which caused financial problems within their family. So maybe Sue has to work a little bit. Kevin's trying to get his band going. Bill's got a paper route, wants to play hockey. And Maureen, we're figuring out, is gifted as far as like how smart she is, which makes the dumb family that she's with a lot more annoying. And it was just progressing those storylines. But like we wanted, like, as crazy as the show gets, we do try to keep it with tethered to reality. So I didn't want to have like kids cursing in front of parents without them telling knock it off or hitting them or whatever. And like I came from that generation where your parents hit. My dad didn't. It was just the threat of him. But like dads were scary when I was a kid. So like my dad come in the front door, we'd all run out the back door or shut off the TV and pick up a book and pretend to be reading. That type of stuff. So it's just progressing that stuff.
One of the things that I love about the show, and I think you kind of said it, that it's tethered to reality, but as funny as the show is, you guys take seriously the storyline, specifically in the second season, from what I've seen, of unemployment and not having money and the depression that the father feels in the first episode. As much as there are jokes wrapped into all of that, it seems like you guys care very much about making sure that there's an emotional through line in the show.
Yeah, and just how that affects kids and how like when you go through a financial difficult time, the oldest kid always knows, because usually there's like the parent starts to confide in the older kid, and then as it goes down, the more the kids are in the dark. Like I was kind of in the dark when I was growing up. Like I was too stupid to notice we went from our own house to a duplex and sharing it with somebody else. I was just happy we had a bigger yard. But my older brother, he felt all of that stress, and that affected him as an adult, where he understood, like, wow, man, like a mom and dad can go broke. Life is hard. Like he learned that lesson, and that shaped how he was. And I got to kind of draft behind him and still be kind of happy-go-lucky, which affected my personality. And then there was the overall like tensions in the house, that made us kind of the same thing. So we try to have that amongst all the crazy jokes and the guy across the street with the coke problem and stuff, So we try to have like all
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. Sam Rockwell is Vic. He kills it. There's so many great people. Laura Dern plays Sue. We got Haley Reinhart, Justin Long, Debbie Derryberry. There's so many people like on the show that are so much more talented than I am. So that was the thing. I made sure I surrounded myself with a bunch of talent.
How do you guys beat out the show in the writer's room to make sure that you keep the jokes with that emotional through line? Do you guys come up with the storylines first and then start crafting jokes? And
yeah, you do the overall story arc. In theory, you got to know where you're going, and then you try to keep the beats. And I don't look at the jokes so much because those things seem to come, but like it's just the beats. And I'm really big on, would that happen in real life? Yeah, I'm not into like absurd. like when something's too absurd, I don't care about the characters. And there's been a lot of TV shows like that I've liked and I've enjoyed, but like I'm only so emotionally invested in it if everybody's sort of over the top, like bizarre behavior. You know what I mean?
What's the difference between being able to watch one episode and being able to kind of binge watch 7 or 10 episodes of this, which I've found that I can do because I'm actually concerned with what's going to happen in the next episode, where these characters are going.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to do. All right, we got one.
I'm going to turn over to the audience in just a minute, but I realize you're a big sports fan. I'll admit I know nothing about sports, but I know the NBA Finals are going on right now, right? And you got to go to a game this past weekend.
Yes, I did.
Tell me what's going on with the NBA Finals. I don't know shit.
The Warriors are just looking like they're going to go undefeated, and it was, I think Kevin Durant is looking like it was the biggest free agent move ever. I've never seen a free agent move affect a league the way it did. Like last year, Golden State and Oklahoma had a classic 7-game series, and then Golden State won, and then played Cleveland and had a classic 7-game series, and then the best guy arguably on Oklahoma went to Golden State. That effectively killed that rivalry and any sort of competition, and now they're just going to just run the table, and everybody's thumping their chests, and it's kind of like, it's like watching a movie where you already know the ending and everybody's shouting their lines and you're just sitting there like not giving a shit. I don't think it's good for the NBA. I think Durant is a beast, but like, I don't get how Chris Paul couldn't go to the Lakers, but he could go, maybe because it was different commissioners. It's weird, but last year was a lot more fun. But hey, God bless him if they win. You know, I hope he gets another, you know, sneaker contract, whatever the hell they're going for. I don't know. I don't know. I wish it would go 7 games, because after it's over, then all I got is baseball. So it always feels like sports claustrophobia at this time of year. And I love baseball, but the beginning of the year in October. But the dog days, it's just brutal to go from that heightened excitement of the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals to then just go to like...
It's hard to get into
game 68 of 162, just a bit outside.
Go over to someone's house and they're watching a baseball game in the middle of July. Why? Let's talk. What are we watching this for?
Yeah, let's go help somebody move. And maybe it'll be the 3rd inning by the time we're done. I hate shitting on baseball because everybody does it. I love baseball. It's a great old man sport. You can smoke a cigar and watch it, but it's just like I said, it's just that the NBA and the Stanley Cup Finals go to this crescendo of a championship, and you watch a city going nuts, and then it's just boom, over. And then there's like Wimbledon, auto racing, and I don't know what else there is. It's a scary time. Those 6 weeks until you start to see preseason football for someone. If you're a dope like me and you don't read and you watch other people in shape playing games against each other, it's a tough time.
I heard you talking about the finals on your podcast on Monday, and another thing that you said that I'm reminded of because you stayed out too late last night was that Jerry Seinfeld told you at Clusterfest this weekend to always go to your room after
Just go back
show.
to the room. And I've said that to myself 90 times. Yeah, I'm on the wagon.
Yeah.
I'm on the wagon. This is the first day of it. This is why I'm leaning like this. So, yeah. Go back to the room. That's what I plan on doing. I'm going back to the room. I'm probably going to go back to the room right after this interview.
To a comfortable chair, hopefully.
No, they're not that bad. I don't know.
Fucking great, Geraldo. That was fucking funny. See, Norton could be followed in a roast. Greg Giraldo. There's too much heat for Norton. Fucking Eddie If's in the room now. How you doing, man? Fucking Jack Ruby has a better television career than you. The fucking horse's head in The Godfather 2 did better in the business. Godfather 1, 2, shut the fuck up. 1 or 2 gives a fuck. They got the fucking joke, okay? Fucking Norton doesn't take shit from anybody unless it lands on his chest. No one's calling you. Fucking Keith. What a fucking zero he is. More comics have passed Keith Robinson in this business than the last place runner in the New York Marathon. Okay. Why does everybody groan when you do a Keith Robinson joke? They like Keith? Oh, fuck him. Sell out. Fuck Keith. They love him. Okay. Our next act come to the stage. I guess you would call him Kathy Griffin without tits. Billy Burr.
All right, thank you. Keep it going for Rich Voss, everybody. Come on, everybody. And for those of you who saw Last Comic Standing, how about a round of applause for the official end of his fucking career? Come on, everybody. Rich, that was the worst fucking show I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe you said yes to that. Fucking Al LaBelle turned down that show. Jesus, it's fucking unbelievable. He's been in this business 39 years. He's competing with open micers. You didn't even fucking stand out. You should have looked like Christ. You didn't look like Christ. You didn't even look like a comedian. You look like a fucking landscaper who was just trying the shit out on a whim. But you're dumb. You deserve it. Look at Rich. Rich spent $3,000 on a watch and $8 on his teeth. Look at him. He looks like fucking John Elway. He's a football player from 20 years. These can't all be gems, people. It is a decent line, right? Maybe if you didn't spit on somebody every 20 seconds, you get a fucking deal, man. Look at that thing. That's not a bridge. It's a fucking dam. Something. All right, let's move on, because that's dying. All right, Vanessa Hollingshead is here, everybody. Vanessa, I've seen you for like the last 7 years. I got one question asked about your act. What the fuck are you talking about? No one cares about your stupid characters. Just talk about your dick and get off the stage. Too mean, it's a roast. Fuck all of you. It's all right, thank you. It's getting worse, people. I'm starting off with the cute ones. All right, I just got back from the Mike Birbiglia's one-man show called An Evening with Todd Barry. Thank you. Todd Barry, little advice. Maybe if you brought the energy up just a little bit, you could get a food spot at the cellar. Oh, and speaking of the cellar, Manny and Esty just wrote a book called How Dare You Work Another Club? Keith Robinson wrote the foreword. I'm going to read some of it. No, Master, I won't be working no other club. Bring it up, Modi, boss. Bring it up, Modi. Coming up the stairs, boss. Coming up the stairs. Unfucking believable. Keith Robinson sold his soul for free nachos and buffalo wings. Just fucking around. I tease the Comedy Cellar. I love the Comedy Cellar. You know what I love about the Comedy Cellar? I love the wide variety of acts that they have on their weekends. On Saturday, we have 4 wonderful shows. At 7 o'clock, we have Tom Papa, Greg Giraldo, Nick DiPaolo, and Colin Quinn. At 9 o'clock, we have Nick DiPaolo, Colin Quinn, Greg Giraldo, and Tom Papa. At 11 o'clock, we have Nick DiPapa, Colin Giraldo, fucking Who Gives a Fuck, and Alan Havey. Let me ask you a question. I got one question. Who the fuck is Alan Havey? Every 6 weeks I get that. I'd love to give you more spots, but Alan Havey is in town. Oh, well, shit, let's clear the fucking schedule. Alan Havey is in town. Jesus Christ, by any chance did he bring Mark Cohen with him? It's a roast, man. I'm letting it go. You like it? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, fuck all of you, because this is still, we're at the halfway point. All right, I worked with the Sklar brothers recently. I got one question for the Sklar brothers. Do they both have to be up there? Is there any reason for both of them? Can't one of them just recite that awful material? Awful. And God, they're ugly. They're the answer to the question, what would happen if Jeff Ross fucked Mel Brooks? I was talking about the Sklar brothers. All right, Tom Papa, I don't know if he's here. Tom Papa has a new show coming out this fall. Evidently, it takes place inside of Jerry Seinfeld's ass. Orny Adams lives in the prostate, and it's called Who Are These People Up My Ass? What are you guys all getting a fucking guest star on it? You fucking sellouts? Don't make fun of him. He has the deal. Where do you go from here? A couple more bridges. Colin Quinn is still here. God bless him. Colin, come on, round of applause for the one celebrity who showed up here tonight. God bless him. Colin, I just have one question for you. Why are you still fucking here? You're at least twice as old as anybody here. No one cares about your take on the war in Iraq. And even if we did, we couldn't understand what the fuck you're saying. You fucking mush-mouth hack. If you're going to keep doing spots, at least take a fucking speech class. Somebody, you got your own show. Why are you still here? What do you think? That tough crowd's like a stepping stone? You're 58 years old. This is it for you. It's not going any higher. Go on the road like Gallagher too, except instead of smashing the watermelons, he's going to eat them. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, which brings me to this tub of shit. Patrice O'Neal. What I've loved about him is he's fat and arrogant. It's the oddest combination I've ever seen in my life. Like, he refuses to do Comic View. He actually feels that he's above it. I will not do Comic View. Patrice, your whole act is perfect for that show. You do 11 minutes, you pretend to talk about Russia, and then you do 52 minutes of pussy jokes. And you won't do Comic View? I mean, Patrice, you're so comic. You got a deal for your own TV show. You blew all your money on a pinky ring, a used Cadillac, and football jerseys. And you won't do Comic View? Patrice, you are Comic View. Why didn't you at least get your fucking teeth fixed? Patrice, you have the worst teeth in entertainment. None of them match. I worked in a dental office for 5 years. I've never seen anybody with a molar in the front. You have no business having a headshot. Howard Feller called. He wants his old teeth back. Look at the space between his front teeth. He looks like a fat 50 Cent. Poor 50 Cent. I'm just fucking with them. I do. I gotta do a disclaimer. I'm getting the most fucking groans here. And Patrice is fat. Patrice has that awful fat person bad breath where you don't know if it's coming, the smell's coming from his mouth or one of the folds in his neck. Patrice's breath smells worse than Jim Norton's chest. But I make fun of Patrice. I make fun of Patrice only because I'm jealous of his career. Seriously, he's doing great. He just booked the lead to the sequel to Mighty Joe Young. Patrice, you really do look like an out-of-shape gorilla. You look like that gorilla at the zoo that doesn't want to fuck anymore. All right, I was playing with all of you. God bless all of you. I love you, Patrice. Known you for 10 years. Seriously, man. I'd do anything for you. Thank you.
I know. Hey, Billy Burr. Billy, no, he's not going next. He doesn't just fucking walk in like he's a celebrity and go next. No, let Lynn go. No, fuck him. The ST doesn't care if you get back to the club. Calm the fuck down. They're here. Shut up, I can't see you. Fucking a big hand for Billy Burr. What's that? Oh, Billy went up. Look at Billy. He's shaking. I know. I'm sorry, Manny. I'm sorry, Esty. Sit down. Hey, stupid, sit down. You are done. Just thank God you didn't trash anybody at BBQs or you wouldn't be working this weekend. Fucking Billy. Look at him. He's so fucking happy. Surprised you came up here without your FUBU clothing. Fucking failed in both fucking... Oh, sorry. I didn't say it. Oh, shit. I saw Johnny Lambert. How you doing, man? When did you get back into comedy? Jesus Christ, talk about relics. That fucker looks up to D.F. Sweedler.
Let's get some questions from the audience. Who has a question out here? Right here.
How's it going, Bill?
How are you, sir?
Great. First of all, I saw the season 2, and I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I started running lately, and I use your podcast as my little go-to, so it kind of helps pass the time.
Oh, is that? How does that work? Listening to a podcast while running?
Well, I love your rants when you go on rants about people. So my question is, what's your pet peeve about people, or biggest pet peeve?
Not being considerate and lack of empathy drives me up the fucking wall. You know what? I hate being in one of those security lines at the airport, and everybody's bonding, rolling their eyes about how fucking long it takes, while nobody's getting ready for their moment. And then they go up there and become part of the problem, and I want to beat them with that plastic tub. I literally think that they should have a moron line and a shit together line. Right onto the plane. Like there should be raised right airlines. Animals, like there's a new thing with people walking barefoot on commercial airlines into the bathroom. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen. I wouldn't even take my sneakers off sitting at the just because people have walked out. Like, what's in that rug, man? I'm telling you, you just don't want to be a part of it. So, like, I would say, like, that type of stuff, and then, you know, people, not being able to put themselves in other people's position. That's a sign of, I'm not saying that I'm good at it, but, like, that's I think, when you become an adult, when you can do that. That's pretty good, huh? That was a good answer.
Great answer. Next question.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent.
I don't watch adult animated series. Like, I'm not going to say any names, but, like, this is the one show that I do watch.
Oh, God, I thought this was going in a bad direction.
No, that's why I did it like that. No.
Very worried there.
I don't approve of your entire genre of entertainment.
No,
all right,
I don't think, because like you said, it's absurd, and I don't think, to me, it's absurd.
Okay.
So that being said, when you guys were, like, writing for the show, what were the points and the features to make you stand out compared to the other ones?
Well, first thing, I wasn't thinking about other shows other than I didn't want to do, you have to be familiar with what they're doing, so I didn't want to try to overlap. Yeah. So my thing was just, it was the same way that I write for my act, which is, to me, the funniest stuff to me is real stuff rather than stuff that you make up. Like, I was in San Francisco recently, and I was on Market Street, which is where, like, all their homeless people are. And they have, like, next level, like, homeless people. Like, they look like miners from the 1800s, like Boxcar Willie level. I don't know why I use that reference in a crowd this young. Anyways, so this guy comes riding by on a bicycle. Mexican-looking dude, and he was just going like, yo, you buying, as he's driving by me, and I'm just like, is he talking to me? You buying? And I went like, no, man, I'm good. And then he addresses me using the N-word. He like looked over his shoulders, he goes, yo, I'm selling pussy, N-word, and drove away. And to me, that's the funniest shit ever. That he used the N-word to me, and that it's a pimp on a bicycle. And I was just picturing him riding around his horse, going like, you got my money, and just wondering if he had the skills to like do that thing where you can stop and do like that. Don't make me put my feet down. So that's the type of shit, okay? As sad as that is, because you're dealing with human trafficking at that point. But it's the bicycle detail that's fucking hilarious, and that's something that will stick in my head, and that will, at some point, will end up on the show. And then just all the racial thing, that he used the N-word to a white guy, and he looked Latino. So then I'm like trying to do the math while laughing that he's a pimp on a bicycle. So that's the type of shit that stands out to me more so than, what's up with Donald Trump, isn't he an idiot? Which I appreciate that comedy, but everybody's doing it. So I just try to stay away from that. I have long answers. I hope that answered your question. Okay, good. Thank you. And thank you for watching.
I think we have time for one more question right here.
Hi, Bill.
Hello, sir. This guy, Raised Right Airlines, right there. It was just goddamn eloquent. That was a textbook greeting. Stuck the landing.
Thank you. I actually do watch the show and binge watched season 2 in one night, and I was always thinking, what was the beginning of the catchphrase, "I'll put you through that effing wall"?
That was actually, my dad used to say that. My dad used to say that all. No, I'll put you through the fucking wall. He used to always say that. And he did say it one time when we were outside. We were outside in the yard,
and he just sort of randomly pointed towards the woods. I remember trying not to laugh because I was afraid of my dad. I'll put you through the fucking wall. And he's like pointing at a tree. And you're like, all right, I guess there's wood in walls. Maybe he's going to cut that down and get some drywall, whatever the fuck you put up there. So that's what there's elements of the, there's true stories. There's little true stories in the whole thing. Like one of the cool ones is one of the guys that does the music, Dave Kushner, used to play in Velvet Revolver, and I think he wrote the theme song for what was that motorcycle show that made all those baby boomers buy motorcycles?
Chips?
Not Chips.
No.
Past that. Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
So he wrote, made guys like me buy Harleys and wear jackets like this. He wrote that music. So he told me a story one time when he came running out of club with his gear. He had his guitar and his amp, and he was running, and he was drunk, and he tripped in the middle of the street, and not thinking his guitar and stuff was so expensive, he went like this, and he just face planted and knocked out all his teeth and all his shit. He told me this story. I'm not doing it justice. I was crying laughing. So the nod to that story is that if you notice when Kevin runs out of the house in season 2, you'll notice he does the same fall. And that's my nod to Dave Kushner for making me laugh the way he did telling that story, and he does the face plant. You do so much work, I forgot it was in there, and he texted me when he saw the episode. He was like, dude, is that my fucking story for the thing there? And I couldn't remember. Then I went back and I looked at it. I said, oh, that's right. That's exactly it. That's where we got that. So there's a bunch of those little things in the episodes this year.
What about your family when your family watches the show? Do they see a lot of those stories as well?
I don't know that any of them really have watched it. As far as I know, they're pretty busy, and my parents can't figure out Netflix. So, but I did it in a way that, he's not my dad. Literally, he's like an amalgam of my dad, Mike Price's, Dave Richardson, Emily Towers, everybody's dad in the room, Vince's, everybody. And so, I think I respect the fact that I was dumb enough to get into this business in a way to put myself out there and all the shit that comes along with that. And I respect those who didn't. So I wanted to make this different enough that they could sit down. So he'll sit down and watch it if he remembers. And I'll put you through that fucking wall. Parents say, oh, I never said that. Like he probably doesn't remember that.
Complete selective memory all the time.
Yeah. But there would be stuff that he would remember. And there's all those true stories. Like in the first season when Bill's up in the telephone pole or something like that, and the bigger kids are throwing shit at him. Like, that really happened to me and another friend of mine. I mean, the kid didn't have a BB gun, but it was like rocks and stuff. Like, we were just climbing a tree, and then these older kids came by, saw us up there, and they just started throwing rocks at us. We up there hanging on, crying. And it was just what you did back then. No, there was like no internet, and that's just how people entertained themselves. And I remember coming down from the tree crying, and we just kept playing. And when I went in the house like 2 hours later, and I never told it was part of going outside. Was at some point bigger kids were going to come along and break your toys or beat the shit out of you. You used to hide when they would come. You'd dive under a bush or some shit.
Or somehow persuade you to do something totally dangerous so that they could sit back and laugh at it while you did it.
Yep. One of them tried to get me to throw a rock. Dared me to throw a rock into this swimming pool that was being made. They were like, this guy was down there like doing the whole and the thing, and I wanted their approval. So he was down there, and I just picked this big rock up, and I just went right in it. And he was beside himself. He was just like, did you just do that? And I was like, yes. And he goes, get the fuck out of here. I bet he still tells that story, the audacity. He's like, you wouldn't believe it. I'm sitting there doing this little redheaded bastard. He just fucking threw it. I swear to God, that kid's going to end up in jail. And it was because I thought if I did that they'd think I was funny and they would stop beating me up every other day. Kid logic.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. F is for Family is on Netflix. Second season is on Netflix right now. 10 episodes. Go watch. If you haven't seen the first, watch the first season. There you go. Great show. The Monday Morning Podcast every morning. You can find it on iTunes, right?
That's it.
Anything else? Anything I'm missing that you want to?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Sum me up as a person. That's all I got.
Bill Burr,
people.
everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Southside Steve, and this is Southside Steve TV. And this is Bill Burr.
That's your question?
I'm just saying who you are.
Oh, yeah, all right. I don't like you creep me out with that big microphone and that country western shirt.
Oh, no, this isn't country western. It's like, it's hip now to wear this.
Okay.
This is my nightclub look. Yeah, come on.
All right. This is. I guess this is the internet, right? You just sort of just throw it out there.
I just throw it out there. I figure you're a funny guy,
Oh,
and
yeah, throw it out there. I'll throw it out there too.
Well, here's the deal. Bill's a comedian. He's at the Punchline. He's in town, and you're a funny guy. You've got these routines in your head, so I figure I'll toss you a mic and you go.
And I'm going to do stand up in front of 9 people in a radio station? No, I'm not doing that.
Well, you're taking the fun out of Southside Steve TV.
I'll take. How about I give you $5 and I want to watch you line dance and I'm a racist cowboy.
I don't know how to line dance, dude.
Okay.
Racist cowboy boots.
I threw it out. You don't have any questions. What am I supposed to do?
Are you a racist? Let's talk about racism.
I thought this was going to be like, What exactly is on the website? Are there like titties or something like that? Like,
no, I'm not doing anything weird to you.
Okay.
Here's Larry, one of our hosts of the show, to help out. Larry?
I was trying to explain to Bill how you put the mic, warn him that you're going to put the mic in his face without asking him a question. Be prepared for that. Apparently he didn't take me seriously. I'd also like to point out that I hope you enjoyed the technique where Steve, you begin talking, Steve takes the microphone away from you. It's a counterpoint to that first move. Yeah.
I'm a mic hog. But do you like my mic?
No, I don't. I don't. Please.
Is that comfortable? Is this uncomfortable?
This is no, don't, man. Honestly, can I take the mic?
Sure.
Now that's the number one thing you don't do. As I learned that in broadcasting school, you never give up the microphone. See, now I have the power. This Bob Barker thing.
Yeah.
You're what is this? Rock 100.5. This is the worst interview I've ever done, and he's wearing Stetson cologne or something. It's just really overpowering.
How you doing?
You know what he looks like? He looks like the first guy who gets his ass kicked in a Steven Seagal movie.
No.
The background guy behind the big kingpin. Why don't you handle this?
No,
there you go. No, you can't.
Come on, let's share it.
Okay.
Are you a racist?
No, I'm not a racist.
Because earlier we had some racist humor on the show. I just want to know, do you like black people?
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, what? Just overall?
Those of color. Anyone other than white people.
I like anybody who's not an asshole.
There you have it. We can agree on that. I'm right there with you.
Just don't pick a race of people. I love Eskimos, all of them. One of them's going to be a dick, right? I feel the same way about that whole support the troops. Just all of them? Like there's not one asshole in the Air Force? Just this whole paranoia, I support all of them. I don't. I support 98% of them, but the 2%, you know who you are. Okay?
Get them, Bill. Get them, Bill.
Right,
Get them, Bill.
Taking all the easy things, all the fucking senator's sons who's not even showing up for the fucking goddamn Coast Guard that you're in. I don't support you.
There you have it. In those words, Bill Burr, a funny, funny man on Southside Steve TV. Can I get a yeah, come on?
Yeah, come on, man.
It's not. This isn't redneck. This is hip. It's hip.
It's not hip. You were not hip.
It's very hip. You
look like you just rented Urban Cowboy.
It's a great movie, John Travolta. See it.
All right, you got to wrap it up, man. You got to know when to wrap it up.
I've been trying. You're the one that came in with Travolta humor.
All right, thank you.